everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be revealing our quarantine watch list. So this video is pretty much going to be a list of shows that we recommend that we've watched during our quarantine lockdown. Now we've watched a lot of things recently, both good and both bad, so we've tried to comprise a list together of things that we would recommend that you all should watch.
Before we share our watch list with you though, we do always encourage you to subscribe to our channel and join our journey. If you are interested, we also have an Instagram page where you can go follow that to get updates on our lives that we may not post here on YouTube. It's at Our Unsettled Journey.
So spoiler alert for everyone before we get started here, that we're going to be spoiling some things for you guys, so if you don't want to hear about any of these things that we mentioned, just feel free to cover your ears. So the first up on our list here, and one of the most probably controversial documentaries out on Netflix currently, is called Tiger King. So we first discovered this documentary basically because of social media, that we were seeing lots of memes out there, different posts and everything about Tiger King, and we were like, what is that, you know? And then we discovered it was on Netflix, so we thought, you know, we'd give it a watch. So it's about these two animal/tiger advocates. One of them is called Joe Exotic, and the other one is called Carol Baskins. So basically they're like two polar opposites, and they always butt heads, and they have all these back and forth between one another, and eventually it ends up with someone going to jail. But I think they both should be in jail. So this documentary pretty much is just crazy. I mean, literally when I was watching it, I was on the edge of my seat. Like, I just kept having to watch another episode and another episode. And when you think one episode was crazy enough, the next one is 10 times as crazy. So we highly recommend watching it if you're in for a wild ride. So if you are an animal advocate, we would not recommend watching this because there are different ends of the spectrum here, both showing, advocates for animals, but then the other side of it is animal cruelty. So we would not advocate watching this if you do not like any of that stuff.
The next show that we've been watching consistently is called Elite. This show was a recommendation from one of my friends who lives in North Carolina. She said that her and another friend of hers had been watching it, and she highly recommended it because it was full of drama and full of engaging content. So the gist of this storyline is it is a school that is based in Spain, and it's a pretty prestigious school, and you either have to be really wealthy or you have to get maybe a scholarship into the school to be a part of it. We ended up making it all the way already to the 3rd season within the time that this quarantine has been going on. This show is filled with all sorts of drama between the students and the parents, and there's things like drug dealing and murders that happen, so it's pretty engaging, and it has all types of different scenarios throughout this 3 seasons. The reason I like the show a lot is because I used to watch the Canadian-based show Degrassi growing up, but keep in mind that because this show is based in Spain, the synchronization of the voice and the words that you're hearing aren't going to match up because the actors are all Spanish. So you can watch the show though with English being spoken. You don't have to read the subtitles.
So another show we've been watching is called 100 Humans. So now we discovered this just scrolling through Netflix as it was on the top 10 list of things to watch. So this show is basically a social experiment test with a range of people all from different races, ages, gender, sexualities, and pretty much they put little different quirky things to the test that you may want to know more about. So for example, they do tests like how long it takes certain age groups to complete certain trivia tests, to how they wipe when they're done going to the bathroom, to how long it takes them to untangle headphones. So overall, it's just very interesting to watch as I'm a very curious person and just would like to know what other people do.
Another show that we've been really enjoying, and we actually just finished it, is the show Too Hot to Handle. So if you couldn't already tell, we enjoy the shows that are considered top 10 or really popular, or shows that we see a lot on social media. We want to know what the buzz is about, and we want to kind of understand some of the memes that we're seeing online. So this show is sort of a game show / reality show that has contestants who are all very physically attractive come together at a resort in Mexico, and they label it a retreat where they can win $100,000. That's the prize that's at stake. However, after the first day, they are given the rules that the contestants are not allowed to engage in any physical contact whatsoever. So that's really the goal of the game, is to just keep your hands off each other. Now, the contestants previously, before they joined the game show, have presented themselves as people who hook up and get together and meet and just have one-night stands and then move on to the next one. So it's really hard for these contestants to follow those rules. And given that there's $100,000 at stake, each time a contestant would mess up, or maybe they would have some sort of physical contact that they weren't supposed to, a certain amount of money is deducted from that $100,000. So throughout the season, they are just engaging in different activities that the show sets up for them to help better themselves. For example, the boys will be on a team and they'll do something to help empower one another, and the women will do an activity together amongst themselves, again, all to really better themselves and show that maybe you don't need to hook up and to have more meaningful connections. Eventually in the season, the cast members are given a bracelet that if the show feels like they're genuinely having a bond, they'll give them a light, and then at that point they would be able to kiss or hold hands or cuddle, whatever they want to do.
So now we're going to switch gears here to some movies that we've enjoyed. So something we got done literally last night is called Into the Forest. So pretty much we were just scrolling through Netflix, trying to find a good movie to watch, and this just caught my eye. So we thought we'd give it a shot. So Into the Forest is a very interesting concept. It's in the near future about a post-apocalyptic world. The movie's about what happens after all the world's power just goes out. And it's about these two sisters who form a bond within that post-apocalyptic world. And they have to join together to survive, and they literally survive, almost over a year, actually, without any power. So they have to resort to living off the land, which is sort of what might happen if we do actually lose power. So overall, I just enjoy it because it's a very interesting concept, and it really gets you thinking about, what if this actually would happen.
Another movie that we discovered that we really enjoyed was As Above, So Below. Matt and I tend to like horror films, thriller films, something that'll scare us, so As Above, So Below came up on the list. We decided to watch it. It ended up being about the catacombs, which is kind of a very large burial chamber underneath the streets of Paris in France. And it's a team, just basically friends, who want to go down and discover and see what those catacombs are all about. Now, the movie style is a first-person mockumentary, which means it isn't shot as a traditional movie would be. It's almost like the person has the camera and is walking around and you're following them through their eyes. There's only a few people who know how to access the catacombs without going through a tour or something. They know the back way. So they find some sketchy people to take them into the catacombs after hours so that they can explore. Different creepy stuff starts happening because you realize it's maybe thousands of millions of bodies that have been buried there throughout time, and all the remains are down in the catacombs. So it's just a pretty interesting, thrilling movie, and it's based on a true story because you can actually go and visit the catacombs. If you're ever in Paris, there is a tour that would take you down there so that you can, for yourself, see the various remains that are made up there.
So one of the last movies we watched recently is called The Platform. It takes place in a huge, very, very tall building. People are prisoners on each level, and there's 2 people to a level, and there's like 300 different levels. Now the catch is they only get to eat 1 time a day, and the people get better quality food at the top, and the platform with the food keeps going down and down and down, and eventually at the bottom there's nothing left. Now each month in this facility, you switch rooms in different levels depending on how you do. Sometimes you could be at the top and get very, very good quality food, and sometimes you could be at the bottom. Now, it's a very interesting concept which I like about this film, and it gets you really thinking about, different social aspects of life. What I do like about it is the twist ending, and it's very, very interesting to watch.
So those are a few of the movies and shows we've been watching while we've been stuck at home. If you have a favorite show or movie that you like, please comment it down below so that we have a little bit more to look forward to watch. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us over on our Instagram at Our Unsettled Journey, and we'll see you in the next video.